the modern political thought, in which there is a theory called social contract theory. We are going to discuss about the social contract theory today. The social contract theory of the origin of state is given by three eminent philosophers: Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Thomas Hobbes, in his great book, Leviathan, he has provided us the theory of social contract in 17th century. John Locke, in his book, Two Treatises on Civil Government, he has provided the theory of social contract. The third philosopher, Rousseau, in his great book, Social Contract, he has provided the theory of social contract. So in today's class, we are going to discuss about these three philosophers. First, we'll see how Thomas Hobbes has given his philosophy. Later, John Locke, and after that, Jean-Jacques Rousseau.
చూసినారా ఇదే బాగున్నది కృష్ణ
These are the three philosophers who have given us the theory of social contract. Social contract theory is a theory that is formulated against the age-old divine origin theory. The divine origin theory says that the state is created by God. There is a central question in political science: how the state originated, who was the first king, how the authority has formalized. So these are the questions that are there in political science. Who was the first king? How the government is formed? How the first government is formed? How the first state is formed? How king got his authority? So these are the questions political science tried to answer. These questions do not have exact answers. When you do not have exact answers, you tend to guess the answers. That's how, as an answer to the question on the origin of state, various theories have come. These theories are partially true. They are called as the assumptive theories or speculative theories. They are called as the assumptive theories. They are also called as the speculative theories. Why they are called as speculative theories? Because they only made a wild guess on the answer to the question: who has established the government? Who was the first king? So for that, there is no clear-cut answer. In reply to the answer, many theories have emanated. Among them, the divine origin theory. It says it is only the God that has created the state. There is also another theory called force theory. Force theory says the strong man in the society has created the state. And the third theory is the family theory. That theory says state is a creation as an expansion of the family. When the expansion of the family becomes a tribe, a community, a village, a society, and a state. This is how the expansion of family has become a state according to family theories. Within the family theories, there are two theories. How the authority in the state has come. According to one theory, it is only the male people that have brought the authority. That is called as the patriarchal theory. And another theory says it is the female people, the mother or the women's lineage that has got the authority to control the family and also the society. So that theory is called as the matriarchal theory. Both patriarchal theory and matriarchal theory are called as the family theories. These theories say that authority in any society is emanated from the expansion of family. Expansion of family is the main source for the crystallization of authority. So, this is how the state is formulated, the state is originated as a result of expansion of family. So, this is how many theories have come, and these are all the assumptive theories. They are called assumptive theories because there is only partial truth in it. There is no full truth in that. That's why these theories are only called as assumptive theories or speculative theories. These theories are related to the origin of state. And one theory among these theories is the social contract theory. The social contract theory says state is the creation of people. People have created the state. Within themselves, they made a contract. They made a contract with a strong man, and the state is created as a result of an agreement among the people. So that is how state is created as a result of an agreement or a contract. This is called as social contract theory. The social contract theory explains how the king got his powers, how the state is established, how the government is established, how people got their rights, and what are the duties of the government, and what are the liberties of the people. So these are various questions. For them, for these questions, the social contract theory has different answers. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the three important philosophers in our syllabus. This is related to block 3 of our syllabus. In the last class, we have discussed about Aristotle, Thomas Aquinas, Machiavelli, and in today's class, we are going to discuss Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, and Rousseau are the three important philosophers who have provided this theory of social contract. First, we'll discuss about Thomas Hobbes. Thomas Hobbes is a 17th century political philosopher. He wrote a great book that's called Leviathan. 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 Leviathan is a great book written by Thomas Hobbes. In that book, Leviathan, Thomas Hobbes tried to answer the question on the origin of state. According to Thomas Hobbes, there is an agreement among the people or the state and the authority of the state, and people have established the state. That's why the state is established according to an agreement by the people. This theory is called as the social contract theory. The first philosopher is Thomas Hobbes. Thomas Hobbes is the first philosopher who has given this theory. According to this theory, A state is a result of an agreement among the people. This agreement is between the people themselves. People made a contract among themselves, and as a result of the contract, people have elected a king, and king got the authority from the consent of the people. Social contract theory gives answers for six types of questions. The first question is human nature. The second question is state of nature. And the third question is inconveniences in the state of nature. And the fourth question is social contract, parties of the contract, and conditions of contract. And fifth question is sovereignty. And sixth question is rights of the people. So these are the six questions that social contract theory has tried to answer. As I have told you in the beginning, social contract theory was given by three great philosophers: Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, Jean Jacques Rousseau. How these six questions are answered by each philosopher. How Thomas Hobbes answered these six questions. How John Locke has answered these six questions. How Rousseau has answered these six questions. Now we'll see. According to Thomas Hobbes, the first philosopher, Thomas Hobbes has born in 17th century, and he has also given his theory in 17th century. So according to Thomas Hobbes, according to the book that is written by Thomas Hobbes, the title of the book is Leviathan. In Leviathan, he has explained about the origin of state. So according to Thomas Hobbes, people have a nature that's called human nature. Human nature means the character of the people, the condition of the people, the behavior of the people. According to Thomas Hobbes, people are selfish, people are self centered, people are egoistic, people are arrogant. So, this is how Thomas Hobbes tried to give a dark picture on the human nature. When somebody asks about the opinion of one person on the other person, you may say some good things or bad things or a combination of these two. Likewise, Thomas Hobbes also has explained the nature of human being, nature of an individual. What is the human nature? What is the nature of an individual? According to Thomas Hobbes, human beings are selfish. Human beings are self-centered. Human beings always fight for their self-interest. Human beings always like the power. They want to control others. They want to exercise their physical power on the other people. So this is how, according to Thomas Hobbes, human being is selfish, self-centered, egoistic, arrogant, morally degraded. Human being is not at all good. Has all the bad qualities, has all the selfish qualities. So, according to Thomas Hobbes, the first point is human nature. Human nature is negative. Human nature is depicted with a black picture, it's a dark picture. Every human being is selfish. Every human being is self centered. Every human being is egoistic. And every human being is arrogant. So, this is how human beings are self centered, egoistic, and every human being is try to fight for his self interest. This is the nature of every human being. And in this nature of human being, with this nature of human beings, how people lived without a state, according to social contract theory, in human history there are two stages. The first stage is state of nature. The second state is origin of state. What is state of nature? State of nature means how people lived in nature without a state, without a constitution, without a government, without a king, without authority. How people lived as a community. This is called a state of nature. The state of nature is a precondition, is a condition before the evolution of state, before the origin of state. So this is how people lived without a state, how people lived without a government, how people lived without a king, how people lived without any authority. So that was called as the state of nature. Thomas Hobbes says man is selfish, man is self centered, man is egoistic, man is aggressive, man is arrogant, man is full of shortcomings. So, in such a situation, without a state, in the state of nature, how people lived a life without a state of nature, without a state in the nature. According to Thomas Hobbes, every individual lived a solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short life. Solitary life, poor life, nasty life, brutish life, and short life. There are three important conditions, situations. Man's condition is solitary. Solitary means he used to live alone, without any friends, without social living, in the state of nature. Secondly, poor. Every human being is poor because human being has so many wants. And without the cooperation of others, without social life, how does he satisfy all his wants only by himself? It is impossible. That's why man is poor, solitary, poor, and nasty. Nasty means man's life is not so polite, not so moderate. It's a nasty behavior. Brutish. Brutish means man always uses to use his force. That's called brutish behavior. Every human being has animal power. He thinks that his own physical power can solve all the problems. So that's how human being believes and have a faith only on his physical power. That is called as brutishness, brutish attitude. So brutish. And lastly, human being's life is very short. Human being cannot live long with all the disputes, with all the tension, with all the peacelessness in the society, without any order, with all disorder in the society. How people live? People lived a life without peace, without law and order, with all violence. So that's why human beings' life is very short. So this is the second point. Human condition in the state of nature. Solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. So the first point here is human nature. The second point is state of nature. In the first point, human nature, according to Hobbes, human being is selfish, human being is self-centered, human being is egoistic, human being is arrogant, human being is aggressive, human being has all the weaknesses and shortcomings. So this is all about the human nature. And the second point is state of nature. In the state of nature, Human beings lived a life like animals before the state. When there was no state, when there was no government, when there was no king, when there was no formal authority, people lived a life like animals. That's why the life of human being without a state, that's called state of nature, is solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and shocked. These are the five adjectives that Thomas Hobbes has used to describe human beings' life in the state of nature. What is state of nature? State of nature is the condition of human beings before the formation of state. So that is called as the state of nature. So in the state of nature, all human beings are solitary. Solitary means they are alone. Each human being is alone because he has no social life. He has no friends, he has no family. That's why when there is no friends and family, each human being has to lead a very lonely life. That's called solitary life. Solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. So this is the second point. The second point is human life in the state of nature. And the third point is inconveniences in the state of nature. Inconveniences in the state of nature. What are the inconveniences that human beings have faced in the state of nature? There are so many inconveniences. There is no development. There is a lot of violence. There is no security. There is no order in the society. When there is no order, there will not be any development. So there was no human development in the state of nature. So these are the inconveniences in the state of nature. With all these inconveniences, human beings have to live a life. That's why human beings, though human beings are bad, they have one good quality, according to Thomas Hobbes. That is called the concept of natural justice. Natural justice. That is the good quality that human being has. Human being is selfish. Human being is self-centered. Human being is egoistic. Human being is aggressive. Human being is bad. But in spite of all these bad qualities, human being has one good quality. That is, in every human being, you find the concept of natural justice. What is natural justice? According to Thomas Hobbes, though human beings are bad and selfish, they know what is good and what is bad, what is true and what is false, what is fair and what is unfair, what is proper and what is improper, what is just and what is unjust. So this is how human beings have a sense of judgment. That kind of a judgment is called as natural justice. So this natural justice is a good quality of human being. In the state of nature, there are so many inconveniences, but with this quality of natural justice, human beings have realized that they are doing a very bad thing. They are leading a very bad life. That's why they have decided to come together and they wanted to build a state. So, natural justice forced the people to come together and agree for a king. People elected a king. People have chosen a king. People have selected one person, one strong person among themselves as the king. So this is the third point. The first point is human nature. The second point is state of nature. The third point is inconveniences in the state of nature and natural justice. And the fourth point is social contract. According to Thomas Hobbes, people sit together at one place, people assembled at one place, and they made a contract among themselves. They made an agreement among themselves. and they have decided to have a king. They have decided to have a state. They have decided to have a government. So this is the contract that people have. People have made a contract among themselves and decided to elect a king. So this is how the king has come. The contract, according to Thomas Hobbes, is done among the people. King is the result of the contract. King is only the result of the contract. He is not a party to the contract. People did not have an agreement with the king. People only agreed to have a king. People have elected a king. But the contract is not between people and king. King is the result of the king, result of the agreement. So that's how they have decided to have a government. The social contract they have made. This is the fourth point. The first point is human nature. The second point is state of nature. The third point is inconveniences to the state of nature and natural justice. And the fourth point is social contract. According to Thomas Hobbes, the social contract is made among themselves, people among themselves. As a result of this contract, people have elected a king. He is called as the sovereign. The sovereign is elected by king. So they made an agreement with the king that the king must respect and king must rule the people and people should always respect the authority of the king. And the fifth point is sovereignty. Sovereignty means supreme power. According to Thomas Hobbes, as a part of the social contract, people gave more powers to the king, unquestionable powers, unchallengeable powers to the king. The unquestionable powers and unchallengeable powers that are given by people to the king is called as absolute sovereignty. Absolute sovereignty. Absolute sovereignty means complete superiority, complete supreme power. The king is supreme. The supremacy of the king is complete, it is total. So people have no right to challenge the king. People have no right to question the king. That's how, as a result of the contract, people have established an absolute sovereign. The sovereign is absolute. The powers of the sovereign is absolute. The king is sovereign. Sovereign means supreme authority. You cannot question the king. You cannot challenge the king. This is how the king is made as him as supreme. He is the sovereign. He is absolute sovereign. What do you mean by absolute sovereign? Complete supremacy. The king has complete superpowers, complete supremacy over the people. So this is called as absolute sovereignty. King has the absolute sovereignty. As a result of this absolute sovereignty, no individual in the state or no association in the state should question the king, should challenge the king. King is unquestionable. King is unchallengeable. So the unquestionable authority, unchallengeable authority of the king is called as the absolute authority, the absolute sovereignty, the absolute sovereignty. This is the fourth point. King is absolute sovereign. This is called absolute sovereignty. With all this absolute sovereignty, the king got unquestionable and unchallengeable powers from the people. Then king is supreme. King has so many powers. Nobody should challenge the king. Nobody should question the king. King is abstract. King is absolute. King has unlimited powers. No individual, no citizen, no human being should question the king. Nobody should challenge the king. That's how the king is supreme. This is called as absolute sovereignty. So this is the fifth point that Thomas Hobbes has given. So Thomas Hobbes' first point is human nature. Thomas Hobbes' second point is state of nature. Thomas Hobbes' third point is inconveniences in the state of nature and the concept of natural justice. And the fourth point is social contract and its parties and the issues that are there in the social contract. The fifth point is absolute sovereignty. And the sixth point is the rights of the people. The rights of the people. When king is supreme, what are the rights of the people? There are no rights to the people. Whatever the rights that the king allow the people, those rights only people should enjoy. People should not demand for another right. People should not demand for any types of liberties or freedoms or rights. King is supreme. King is having the supreme authority. That's why the king is absolute sovereign, according to Thomas Hobbes. So there are two types of rights, according to Thomas Hobbes, that people can enjoy. The first one is whatever the rights that the king willingly give it to people for their enjoyment. If the king gives some rights to the people by his willingness, by his consent, people can take their rights and people can enjoy those rights. That means those rights which are approved by the king, which are given by the king as a gift to the people. This is one thing. Secondly, people also have the right to life, right to self preservation. Right to life, this is also known as the right to self preservation. What is the right to self preservation? According to Thomas Hobbes, people have a peculiar right. That means when their life is in danger, if any person feels that his life is in danger, then he need not obey the commands of the government. He need not obey the commands of the sovereign power. So this is how, according to Thomas Hobbes, people have certain rights. These rights include whatever the rights that are approved by the king and also whatever the rights that people require to defend themselves. That's called as the right to self-determination. People have a right to self-determination. What is right to self-determination? If the people feel that their life is in danger, they can fight back their danger and get their life back. So people have a right to self-defense. That right to self-defense is known as the right to self-preservation. So according to Thomas Hobbes, people have two types of rights. One is what are the rights that the king himself grant people to enjoy? That's one type of rights. Secondly, whatever the rights that are required for the people to defend themselves in case of danger. When sometimes the king himself may take away the lives of the people. The king may sometimes endanger the people. He may even ask the people to give their life. In such a case, people have a right to defend their life against the king. So, this is how the social contract theory has given 6 points: human nature, state of nature, inconveniences in the state of nature and natural justice, social contract, sovereignty, and rights of the people. The first point is human nature. The second point is state of nature. The third point is inconveniences in the state of nature and the concept of natural justice. And the fourth point is social contract and the provisions of the contract, parties of the contract. According to Thomas Hobbes, all people are the party to the social contract. The social contract is made by people with their own people. So it's only the people's contract. King is the result of the contract. As a result of the contract, people have elected a king. So king is not a party to the contract. King is the result of the contract. So every individual is a party to the contract. This is one thing. And likewise, the fifth point is sovereignty. King is absolute sovereign. Absolute sovereignty is with the king. King has supreme powers. And people should not challenge the king, should not question the king. King is absolute sovereign. And sixth point is rights of the people. So these are the 6 points for which the answers are given by Thomas Hobbes. This is known as the social contract theory of Thomas Hobbes. Thomas Hobbes' social contract theory has two important observations. The first one is he has given full powers to the government, the king, the sovereign. He wanted the sovereignty should be absolute, unquestionable, unchallengeable powers to the state. So there is a criticism against this theory. When unquestionable and unchallengeable powers of the king, as a result, people may suffer, people may not find their liberty, people may not find their freedoms. This is one criticism against Thomas Hobbes. Secondly, Thomas Hobbes has given only one right to the people, that is, the right to self preservation. This is only the one right that he has given to the people. And he has also further said that rights of the people always depend on the rulers. In other words, the rights are at the mercy of the king. If the king wants to give the rights, he will give. If the king doesn't want to give the rights, he need not give. That's why the rights of the people are at the mercy of the king. So these are the 6 points given by Thomas Hobbes. Now let us see the second philosopher, John Locke. John Locke is discussed in unit number 7. John Locke is a 18th century philosopher and he has written a book, Two Treatises on Civil Government. His book is Two Treatises on Civil Government. There are two agreements according to John Locke. According to Thomas Hobbes, people have only one agreement. But according to John Locke, people have made two agreements. One agreement to establish the state, the second agreement to establish the government. So there are two agreements. That's why this theory is called Two Treatises on Civil Government. In his Two Treatises on Civil Government, it's a great book written by John Locke. John Locke has given the limited government theory or government by consent, the theory of government by consent, and he has also given the natural rights theory. So these are some of the theories given by John Locke. Now let us see what are the 6 points given by Thomas Hobbes and what are the answers to the 6 points, the same 6 points by John Locke. The first point is human nature. The second point is state of nature. And the third point is inconveniences to the state of nature and theory of concept of natural justice. And the fourth point is social contract and its parties and conditions of social contract. And the fifth point is sovereignty, sovereignty of the state. According to John Locke, The king need not have absolute powers. The king should have only limited powers. And sixthly, the rights of the people. Here, John Locke has given his theory of natural rights. So, these 6 points are to be explained in a detailed manner. The first one is human nature. According to John Locke, human beings are good. Human beings are very friendly. Human beings are very cooperative. Human beings coordinate development. Human beings always maintain order and law in the society. Human beings are very peaceful. Human beings are friendly. Human beings are cooperative. So these are all the good things that he has said about human beings. In the human nature, according to John Locke, human beings are good. Human beings are peaceful. Human beings are cooperative. Human beings love the order in the society. So he gives all the good picture of the state of the human nature. When we compare the human nature, the concept of human nature of Thomas Hobbes and John Locke, Thomas Hobbes says human beings are bad, human beings are selfish, human beings are self-centered, egoistic, arrogant, aggressive, all the shortcomings, bad qualities, and a dark picture. But according to Locke, human being is good. Human being is human being is good. Human being is very cooperative. Human being is always maintains order in the society. Human being has good relations and understanding with the people, other people. So human being is good basically. But he says, though human beings are good, there are certain people who are extreme in their behavior. There are certain abnormalities in human beings. In the state of nature, all human beings are good, all human beings are cooperative, all human beings are very peaceful, all human beings always maintain good relations with each other. These things are there. But human beings are good. But at the same time, their behavior is not the same. There are some people who are having the aggressive behavior, excessive behavior, the extreme behavior. That extreme behavior of certain people is vitiating the society. It is poisoning the society. So the people with the excessive behavior ought to be punished. To punish people with excessive behavior, you must know what is a good behavior and what is excessive behavior. For that, you require law. So, absence of laws is the first inconvenience that is there in the state of nature and human in the state of nature. Secondly, there are no judges or policemen or soldiers to punish, to give punishment to the people who are misbehaving or who are not behaving properly. So, this is the second important problem. And thirdly, if a person commits a wrong thing, who should punish them? It is only the judge. There should be some judiciary, courts. Those judiciary and courts, they punish the people. But in the state of nature, you don't find any judges. So absence of laws, absence of police, absence of judges. These are the three inconveniences in the state of nature. Though human being is good, though human life is peaceful, though human beings are very cooperative with each other, though human beings have perfect mutual understanding among themselves, but the absence of laws, the absence of police force, the absence of judges to render justice to the people, These are the three inconveniences in the state of nature. In the state of nature, people have these inconveniences. How to overcome these inconveniences? That's why people assembled at one place and they made a contract. They have used their natural justice and they made a contract among themselves. This contract has two dimensions. One is this contract is made to establish a state or a civil society. This is one thing. Secondly, this contract is made to elect a government, to elect a government. So this is how a state is formed. These are the two important agreements. That's why his theory is called Two Treatises on Civil Government. It is called as Two Treatises on Civil Government because John Locke's theory has two important contracts. With one contract, they have established a civil society that's also called a state. And with the second contract, people have the state, the people also have the government. They have elected a government. These are the two contracts. So people have established two contracts as a result of John Locke's theory. John Locke's theory says people have made two contracts. With one contract, they have established the civil society or the state. With the second contract, they have established the government. What is the difference between state and a state? Means the offices, the officials, the political leaders. This is also called as the state. It has a physical appearance. This is known as a state. Then what is a government? A government is temporary. The government is elected by people. People may elect a government for 5 years. After that, they may not interest to show the same government after some time. This is how peoples have a choice whether to continue the same government or not. So people sometimes can change in the government also. So that's how, according to John Locke, people have two contracts. With one contract, they have established the state. With the second contract, they have established the government. And this is known as the two treatises on civil government. Two treatises means people have made two contracts. That is known as the two treatises on civil government. And the third point is who made the contract? What is the outcome of the contract? According to Thomas Hobbes, people themselves have made the first contract. The first contract was made by people themselves. All the people assembled at one place and they made a contract among themselves. That is called as the first contract. And as a result of the first contract, they have established a state. And the second contract is a contract written by the leaders, the political leaders with the government. So this is called as the second contract. The first contract is the contract among the people. The second contract is also called as the people's contract, but this contract is made between rulers and the ruled, rulers and the people. This is the second contract. That's why people have elected a government, and according to the rules of the government rules the people. So this is how two contracts were made. And the fourth point here is when people hold the government, who will be supreme? Is it the government supreme or people supreme? According to John Locke, the king is supreme. King is unquestionable. You should not question the king, you should not challenge the king. King has absolute authority. We should not question the king. But according to John Locke, people are supreme. People can question the king. People can challenge the king. If people want, people even can change the king. So this is how he has given the choice to the people. It is the people who are very supreme, according to John Locke. King should have limited powers. People should have unlimited liberty. King should have only limited governance. People should have unlimited freedoms. King should have only limited authority with him. And people should have unlimited freedom, unlimited liberty, unlimited rights. So this is how John Locke has made the concept of limited government, giving limited powers to the state. He accepted the king, but king should have only limited powers, not absolute powers. Thomas Hobbes gave absolute powers to the king, but John Locke gave only limited powers to the king. That's called a limited government or government of the consent, government by consent. He also calls it as the government by consent. Consent means the public opinion. The government elected on the basis of public opinion is called as the government of the consensus. So these are the issues that John Locke has raised. And further, lastly, John Locke also gave a theory of rights. A theory of rights. He has given a theory of rights that's called famously known as the natural theory of rights, theory of natural rights. John Locke is the father of natural rights theory. According to John Locke, people have got three rights during the time of their birth. These rights are by virtue of their birth. Every human being, irrespective of caste, irrespective of religion, irrespective of the economic status of the family, irrespective of the color of the body, irrespective of gender, every individual gets these rights by virtue of his birth. An individual is supposed to enjoy these rights till the time of his death. From birth to death, from cradle to grave, these rights and individual are inseparable. They are called as the inseparable rights. According to John Locke, people got three rights: right to life, right to liberty, and right to property. Right to life, right to liberty, and right to property. These are the three rights that people have got by virtue of their birth as human being. As human being, every individual is entitled to get three rights: right to life, right to liberty, right to property. These three rights are called as the inalienable rights, inseparable rights. You cannot transfer these rights to other people. Your rights are to be enjoyed only by you. You cannot transfer these rights. And these rights are permanent so long as the human being is alive. So they are inseparable. They are inseparable rights. So these rights are called as the natural rights of the people. So according to John Locke, people have three important natural rights: right to life, right to liberty, right to property. Right to life, right to liberty, right to property. Right to life, right to liberty, right to property. These three rights are inseparable rights. You cannot separate the individual from these rights. That's why they are called as the inseparable rights. So these inseparable rights every human being enjoys are not given by government, are not given by the constitution. These rights are not given by family. These rights are not given by religion. These rights are not given by any community. These rights are given by virtue of his birth. Every individual, by virtue of his birth, get these rights. That's why they are called as the natural rights. They are natural because as long as the human being alive is alive, every human being has these rights. So let us encapsulate what John Locke has said. The first point is human nature. The second point is state of nature. The third point is inconveniences in the state of nature and natural justice. And fourth point is social contract, the parties of the contract and conditions of contract. And the fifth point is the concept of limited sovereignty. The king has only limited powers. That's called limited sovereignty. And the sixth point is the theory of natural rights. Every individual has three types of rights: right to life, right to liberty, right to property. These three rights are called as the natural rights. They are inalienable rights and inseparable rights. Individual can enjoy these rights, and if there is any violation of these rights by other people, it is the duty of the government to protect the rights of the people. It is the duty of the government to protect the rights of the people. So this is how the natural rights theory is given by John Locke. John Locke is associated with so many theories. Firstly, he is the first philosopher, belongs to England, who propagated the theory of government by consent. Secondly, he has also given the theory of limited government and constitutional monarchy. He has also gave another theory called constitutional monarchy. He has given the theory of monarchical form of government, but he made king only limited. The king has only limited powers. So king has only limited powers and people have unlimited liberties. And sixth point is people have natural rights. John Locke is the father of natural rights, the theory of natural rights. And as the father of theory of natural rights, John Locke has propagated three types of rights to all the people: right to life, right to liberty, right to property. And these three rights are inalienable rights and inseparable rights. And every individual, by virtue of his birth, gets these rights, and nobody can separate the individual from these rights. They are called as the inseparable rights. So, friends, let us make a comparison between John Locke and Thomas Hobbes on all these 6 points. The first point is human nature. In human nature, according to Thomas Hobbes, human being is selfish, human being is self-centered, human being is egoistic, human being is aggressive, human being is arrogant, human being is selfish. So these are all the dark picture, the points of dark picture given by Thomas Hobbes on human nature. But according to John Locke, human being is good, human being is responsible, human being is rational, human being is very friendly, human being is very cooperative, human being has all the good qualities. So John Locke has given all the good words about human being. This is all about human nature. And second point is state of nature. In the state of nature, according to John Locke, human beings have lived a very peaceful life with order and peace. They have also cooperation among themselves, they have coordination among themselves. People made contract among themselves, people have good understanding among themselves. But Thomas Hobbes says in the state of nature, people are misusing their liberties and people behave in a very solitary, nasty, poor, brutish, and short. These are the five adjectives that he has given to describe human life in the state of nature. In the state of nature means the life of a person before the formation of state. That's called as the state of nature. In the state of nature, every individual has led solitary life, poor life, nasty life, brutish life, and a short life, according to Thomas Hobbes. But John Locke says people have perfect understanding of the rights, and people also cooperative among themselves. And supremacy of the constitution, supremacy of the government, sovereignty. According to Thomas Hobbes, the king is absolute. The powers of the king cannot be questioned or cannot be challenged. This is called absolute sovereignty. But according to John Locke, king's powers are limited. King has only limited powers. He is accountable to the people. He should not wage unnecessary wars. He should not impose heavy tax on people without the consent of the parliament. That means king is accountable to the people. This is called as John Locke's theory of limited government or the government by consent. Without people's consent, the king is not authorized to take any important decisions. So this is the fourth point. And fifth point is every individual have certain rights. According to Thomas Hobbes, people have only two types of rights. What are the rights that the government allowed him to enjoy? This first type of rights. Secondly, the right to self-defense or self-preservation. But according to Thomas Hobbes, individual may not have more rights. He has only very limited rights. But according to John Locke, individuals have many rights, among them the important rights being right to life, right to liberty, right to property. These three rights are considered as the natural rights of the people. That means these rights are given by nature, by virtue of one's birth. Individual is entitled to get these rights. No government, no religion, no family, no society, no authority has given these rights to the individual. Individual got these rights by virtue of his birth. Every individual, at the time of his birth, just by getting all his physical qualities, two eyes, a mouth, two hands, two legs, likewise, every individual also get right to life, right to liberty, right to property by virtue of the nature. So they are called as the natural rights. So natural rights theory is propagated by John Locke. So these are the differences between Thomas Hobbes and John Locke. Thomas Hobbes has explained his theory in his great book called Leviathan. John Locke has explained his theory in his great book Two Treatises on Civil Government. Two Treatises on Civil Government is a great book written by John Locke. So this is how Thomas Hobbes and John Locke, though they have given us social contract theory, they differed in their answers with different answers for all the 6 points. The first point is human nature. The second point is state of nature. The third point is inconveniences in the state of nature. And the fourth point is social contract, the conditions of contract and parties to the contract. And the fifth point is sovereignty. And the sixth point is rights of the individual. So this is how both John Locke and Thomas Hobbes differed in these 6 points. In the next class, we'll be discussing about Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Rousseau belongs to 18th century. He's a great philosopher. He has also given the theory of social contract. In fact, the very book that he has written, the title of the book itself is called The Social Contract. In his great book, Social Contract, John Rousseau has provided us the theory of social contract. Social contract, according to Rousseau, is the great contract committed by the people against the king. So this is how social contract theory has got its acceptance. In the next class, we'll be discussing about Rousseau's theory of social contract. Thank you, friends. Thank you very much.